Today, I would like to speak on one of the very misunderstood ayat of the Quran, that is from Surah number 15 and ayat number 87, that is SABA MASANI. SABA MASANI is interpreted as the 7 oft-repeated ayats. It occurs once in the Quran and it is traditionally rendered as follows. And we have boosted upon you the 7 oft-repeated in bracket ayat and the Grand Quran. This ayat is from Surah number 15 and this ayat number is 87. In Tafsir, Bayanul Subhan, which is considered as the extract of all the tafsirs of the Quran from the 3rd century to the 14th century, we find the following interpretation. In Bayanul Subhan, we find this interpretation. SABA MASANI refers to the 7 long surahs, that is Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-Ma'idah, Anam, Al-Iraf, Surah Yunus. These 7 surahs, they say it is the SABA MASANI, Bayanul Subhan. This interpretation cannot be accepted for the simple reason that the Surah Al-Hijr, in which the SABA MASANI is mentioned, is a Makki surah. And out of 7 long surahs, the first 4 are Madani. However, the reference to the ayah in bracket, if the interpretation is accepted, that the reference is to the 7 ayat, turns to the reference to surah, if the interpretation is accepted, that the reference is to the 7 long surahs. Most of the Mufassir are of the opinion that SABA MASANI is the opening surah, that is Surah Al-Fatiha. The reason given for this interpretation is that the 7 ayat of Surah Fatiha sum up the whole teaching of the Quran, and that these ayat are repeated daily by every Muslim in the daily prayers, that is Salat, 5 times a day. This interpretation cannot be accepted because Surah Fatiha consists of only 6 ayats. It may not be correct to include Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim as the first ayah, as this is a rule not being followed in the rest of the Quran. It is mentioned in the ayah in question that Allah has given to the Prophet 7 out of Masani, that is in bracket Quran 1587. Even if Bismillah is added as the 7 ayah of the Surah Fatiha, the reference to Surah Fatiha is not satisfactory. The purport of ayat in 1587 is that out of many, 7 are given to the Prophet. The question whether Subhan Minal Masani and the Quran Azim are the 2 separate entities, or the SABA MASANI is the part of the Quran, is crucial. In the Quran, several words are used for the Quran, and everywhere it refers to the entire Quran. Example, verily we have sent thy a message from our presence. This is in Surah 20, ayat number 99. When such is the case, how is it possible to say that the Surah Fatiha is not part of the Quran? in the same surah, that is ayat number 89 to 92 says, that is in the surah number 15 itself. And say, I am only a plain warner of wrath sent down on those who divided the scripture into arbitrary parts. Therefore, we will surely call them to account. Here the earlier scriptures have been referred to as Quran. And those who have divided the scriptures have been warned that they will be questioned for doing so. Considering the very first surah of the Quran as a separate entity, therefore falls within the mischief mentioned in the above order. In the ayah in question, SABA MASANI is shown other than the Quran. When it is clear that these 7 oft repeated are not the ayah of Surah Fatiha of the Quran, then what are they? Which are 7 in number and also oft repeated? This is a question we have to get the answer for it. One more point is to bear in mind. The word Saba literally means 7 is often used in the Quran to indicate unspecified number. This word need not be taken exactly as 7. In the ayah in question, also the word Saba has to be interpreted as unspecified number. The oft repeated obviously are the earlier revelations. They contain ordinance from the same book repeating each statement in bracket of the ultimate truth in manifold forms. Thus they are referred to as oft repeated. The Prophet of Islam has confirmed the divinity of the earlier scripture, and thus it can be said that the earlier revelations has been given to his charge both to confirm their being divine revelation and also to point out the man-made interpolations therein within the help of the Quran, which is also Al-Furqan, that is, which differentiate truth from the falsehood. The correct translation of the following ayah will be helpful to fully appreciate the above explanation. Allah has revealed, you take it in bracket this, the Quran as the best discourse, Ahsan al-Hadith, in the form of book, having resemblance with the earlier messages, and the repeating each statement of the truth is manifold form. That is mentioned in Surah number 39, ayah 23. The word ayah is not explicitly used in ayah 1587. In spite of the divergent interpretation, there is, however, consensus of the opinion among all the mufassir that masani, whatever it is, implies to ayat. All the mufassir says here the word ayah used is for the verse. If we take ayah in the wider meaning, that is message, the understanding the word SABA MASANI becomes easy. In view of the above ayah, that is 1587, can be rendered as follows. I think this is the right translation, what I am going to present now. And indeed, we have boosted upon the several of the oft repeated earlier messages and this sublime Quran. I can show you one copy of the Quran. I will not demonstrate you one book. That is, you can verify from yourself. That on Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim he has not mentioned the number, and then he has started mentioning the ayah numbers for Surah Fatiha. And without mentioning the 6th number, he has jumped to the 7th. This is the copy. I think you may see it. This is from Tazkirul Quran. And this is not the only case in this Quran. Any Quran, if you take, in Surah Fatiha there are 6 ayat, but they mention 7. At the end they bring the number 7. Why? Why? Just to say that this is a Surah Fatiha and often repeated in the namaz. And we as a reader, we think it's all right. What is there? It is just kiss the book and keep it. I think you have seen. I will show you another copy of a Quran in which also the same mischief you will find. I will show you another copy. Here in this book, he has considered Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim as ayah number 1, and then he has given the ayah number 7. I don't know whether it is coming into a good focus or not, but I can say that you can go through it. When they are considering Bismillah as a opening ayat as a 1, and why this rule is not being followed when this ayah is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is put before the other surahs? Why they are ignoring it? Why they are not including into their numbers? So this is that. So this is just a single point I got today about the SABA MASANI. So I said let me share this information with you. So I have talk on that. There are many more subjects like that. One by one, I will try to give you some more explanation about the most misunderstood concepts, or rather, the khaplas of the translations I will expose. I will give you some more about Qawwam and all these things. I got many notes with me from many good authors that I will bring to your knowledge. So I was supposed to talk on Haqiqat-e-Hajj, but I'm not prepared. So I think tomorrow or day after tomorrow I may be speaking on that again. Wa akhirat tawana alhamdulillah.